Yeah, well, I don't know if we have a new receiver. We're just trying to figure out some spots for some kids. If we can, he's the one kid we felt in the secondary we can cross train. So it'll add some depth to us. John felt real confident in what he knows, what he's doing defensively. He's a valuable special teams player for us, and then kind of looking at what we have to make some decisions coming up on what we're going to do at wideout. But right now there's a couple of those wideouts out. I don't think they're out for an extended time, but it's a time to get them reps. If not, we're going to run LT and those guys that are healthy right now into the ground. So just a chance to get them some practice time out there and see what goes on.
Those Cantu guys out, but not out for an extended.
We don't know the verdict on all that, but there's some other kids that you saw that got twinged and didn't practice today. So our numbers at receiver today weren't a lot. So we felt like we could get them some reps over there. The one thing about Dior is to flip them back to defense isn't going to be very difficult. So
it looked like Mike Garrity was out there. Did you lose somebody from the original 105?
Yeah, Curtis.
Okay.
Well, and 105 goes to next. He'll be out for at least 2 weeks, so
okay.
It'll go to the LSU game. So after the LSU game, your numbers go back up. So.
Okay. So Mike was somebody who was just.
Yeah, because we brought Nick Musgrove over from defense.
Yeah. So what's his potential there?
I don't know. We just if Curtis is definitely going to be out at least for the beginning, then we don't have much depth at tight end right now. So our decision was to bring Nick over, and then we brought in another defensive guy to take Nick's spot. So.
Curtis seemed like he was making some progress. You hopeful that he'll be able to?
I really don't know. I haven't got the final verdict. He was supposed to meet with the doctors and all that. So.
How has Eric Dungy progressed in his 2 years?
He's done a nice job, and he's really just 1 year because this is the beginning of his second year. So, got a real good grasp of our offense. Does a real good route runner, catches the ball extremely well, and out working on all the details of the other part of the game, and is really starting to come on. I don't think he practiced today, but up until today, he'd been really. Very, very consistent for us. One of the more consistent performers at the wide receiver spot. So.
You haven't talked about the punting or kicking gear very much. I guess you feel pretty confident with everybody coming back there.
Well, we do have, that's the one luxury we do have where you can kind of feel comfortable is Robbie's back, Jackson's back, and then more importantly, Jeff Palmer and Drew Howell are back, so our snappers are back, which, you feel comfortable in that situation. So most of our attention in special teams has been about, we lost some real key players on the up front on punt, and Casey and Brandon Bear and Spencer Pasinger and those guys. But I know Coach Oz and myself both feel comfortable with the snapper-kicker combination right now.
When will you start putting together your return?
Same, we're doing it right now and working those guys through. Obviously Kenyon's got experience back there. Cliff has experience back there. LaMichael a little bit, Josh Huff a little bit, and then trying to see what some of those young guys can do and figure out if they can help and they can assist, because we've always rotated a couple guys deep, whether it's on punt return or kick return, and we like to have some depth out there. We don't want to just have one guy out there. So, last year we were real fortunate. I thought Kenyon had a great early season, and then Cliff came along and did a really nice job, and Kenyon was out, and then we had the luxury of having Cliff and Kenyon and Josh being able to return for us at the end of the year. So just developing some depth for those younger guys. So to go along with LaMichael, Cliff, Kenyon, and Josh, taking a look at the Anthony, taking a look at Efo, taking a look at some of those other young freshmen back there.
Were you running out the clock there at the end?
Yeah, we were working our 4-minute offense. Yesterday, last couple of days, we did some 2-minute stuff, and today was some 4-minute stuff, so the offense was up. And it's real important for the quarterback to work the play clock as along with the game clock. The game clock's running, but what do we snapping it in less than, with 2 and 3 seconds on the game clock to make sure we can get the maximum time. Running backs knowing to stay in bounds. There's a couple times you saw them, they broke outside and got a first down, but then got down because they didn't want to get knocked out of bounds. So just practicing the end of the game situations, and as camp keeps going here, everything we do is some type of situation that we have to cover, and I thought the offense did a good job in the 4-minute deal today. So.
I thought you weren't going to put on the headset.
I have to when we do that thing, because no one can. I've been screaming and no one listens to me. So that was not because I want to. So in certain periods I have to. So sometimes we all have to do things we don't like to do.
Getting back to Dior, what kind of attributes does he bring as a wide receiver?
Oh, he can fly. Number one. I mean, he's on our track team. It's got great speed. If you looked at his high school tape, he was a dynamic player with the ball in his hands, and it's more of a depth thing for us right now. If we haven't made determinations, but if we're going to redshirt a few kids, then what depth do you have at receiver? And if we're traveling, and anytime you got a kid that can kind of go do some things on both sides of the ball, it just makes it more versatile. He's definitely going to play special teams for us, and he's not in the red shirt anymore because he got redshirted last year. So it was just, hey, let's take a look at this, and I love his attitude. He's real game about it. It could be a 2 or 3 day experiment and he goes back. It could be, I don't know. We brought Jeff over a couple years ago. It's just like Deion Jordan. We moved him from tight end to defensive end to see what it looked like, and he found a home over there. So we're just, all the time we get going, we're just trying to find spots for everybody and utilize it, especially when we get into conference play, when we're limited, especially in our away games, how many people we can bring. Everybody better have a role. They're not going to be people that are going to come and travel and play. If someone gets hurt, they're going to have to play. So we usually play our entire travel roster, with the exception of probably our backup quarterback, when we go to away games. So it's just a way to get some versatility out of him.
How's the progress of the offensive line?
They're getting better. You know, I think Wood does such a good job of rotating those guys, and I kind of look out there and go, oh God, he's playing tackle now, and he had been a guard for a couple of days. But I think it gets them a better understanding of the concepts in terms of what's going on, and you know, that group is gelled. There hasn't been a guy up there that's really missed a practice, so they're starting to get some continuity playing with each other and understanding it. And you know, the communication part of it is a big deal in terms of how we're doing things. But I've seen those guys progress since camp has started, and that's a big question for us, just because we lost 3 players that had a ton of plays in them, and both ran in CE and Jordan. So it's a matter of trying to find out some new guys to plug into those spots.